Hello everybody, welcome back, and I am the Chornik, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about Alain versus Leon. Yes, the beginning of the Masters 8 tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm probably going to go on a huge rant, okay? So, bear with me, okay? You guys could post in the comment section below what you guys thought of this battle and the beginning of this mega awesome fighting champion tournament, right? The best 8 trainers out there. You know, these are the kind of battles we want to see. How are they compared to each other? How these fights go down? What kind of tactics, what kind of moves, what kind of excitement and animation can we see? I'm expecting the best, right? This is the Masters 8. This is where all the best battles with the best trainers in the world are fighting each other. Honestly, and anyone looking at this would be like so freaking excited for what's to come, right? So excited to see these legends, the best 8 trainers in the world, clash. But it starts off piss poor. Because Journeys likes to do a thing called like one-hit KOs and poor pacing, okay? That's what they like to do, okay? It makes no freaking sense. Power scaling is out the window. Like, I don't even know where it is, like how to even evaluate it at this point. Because Alain was so freaking disrespected. I mean, he's an extremely powerful trainer, right? He won a Kalos League. He fought Elite Four. He fought champions. He fought Steven, right? He's fought Mega Evolution after Mega Evolution after Mega Evolution. And it was pounded in our heads back in X and Y that the reason Ash's ace, Ash's strongest Pokemon up to this point, his strongest team, his prime up to this point, lost was because Alain's Charizard is just so resilient, and so powerful because it really went through the ringer with all these things. Elite Four, Champion, Mega Evolution upon Mega Evolution, legendary Pokemon, right? That it would fight and compete with because Alain wanted to be so strong and never lose ever again. For the sake of Marin, right? Which, God bless her heart, I mean, he told her that he doesn't ever want to have her cry again, and him losing this episode, and you see a Marin cry, and honestly, that was so sweet. I feel so bad. And, like, I feel like that's probably a lot of the fans, like, watching this episode and being like, and hoping that we would have gotten something better than this. Like, something that would have been, like, maybe the whole episode and not just half of the episode. Because that's, like, basically, like, putting a 6v6 in one episode. Because when you put a 3v3 in half an episode, it's just gonna be disaster. It's gonna be one-shots. And even Leon's Rillaboom was one-shotted. Hop's Pokemon was one-shotted. That's how fast they were going through this because they're trying to jam-pack every little thing they can into this episode. In all these episodes recently. I mean, sure, I could say, you know, Journey's episodes have been banger recently, but their pacing has been terrible recently as well because they're trying to jam-pack so much into it. Like, I mean, even you look at the Serene episode, and a lot of people love that episode, right? But even the battle with Wallace was like rushed as hell. We didn't even get to see it, right? And so I know a lot of people were pissed because we didn't even get to see that. I mean, Wallace is like champion status and we didn't even get to see that battle. And Ash just like whipped him in like a couple minutes. What? And that's how Journeys has been. At the start of the Masters 8 tournament, like, I really hope that this isn't a hint at what's to come. And that the Lance and Diantha and Iris and Cynthia are gonna be really quick battles like this. Okay, we want to see these champions clash and have fully fledged out fights and really show the prowess of all these trainers, and we didn't get that in this episode. I mean, props to Alain's Chestnut for tanking the G-Max Rillaboom. He actually managed to survive all 3 attacks by the Rillaboom, although none of the attacks really hit him. He just kind of like dodged them in a way. But, I mean, I guess the first attack kind of hit him. But still, that's still like within 2 hits that all these Pokemon went down this episode. Also, Alain's Charizard, like, hello? Like, why aren't you using Thunder Punch? Why aren't you using your signature move, Blast Burn, that you always use to, like, instant KO someone, right? Because that's your signature most powerful move, and you're using Flare Blitz? Against a Charizard? When you have Thunder Punch? I mean, you took out probably 40% of your own with recoil damage from that Flare Blitz. So you probably took 40% out of your own HP by doing that. So no wonder you got one shot, because holy crap. Why are you using like 2 or 3 flare blitzes on a fire type? I think one of them was actually on the Rillaboom, but still. Why would you use that against the Charizard? What chance does Lucario have? Ash's Lucario have? Because we've seen the preview, right? Everyone's seen the preview, right? Whereas Mega Lucario takes on Leon's Charizard. What chance does Lucario have when Alain, a Masters 8 trainer, a top 8 trainer in the world, his ace gets one-shotted by Leon's ace? I understand that this episode and the writers are trying to convey that Leon, yeah, he's a really powerful trainer, he's the #1. But to treat another Masters 8 trainer like that, especially his ace Pokemon and the history that we know of this character, and the things that Charizard has been through, and we see it get one-shotted, it's really hard to believe that Ash's Lucario could do anything. Especially when Lucario got slapped by Greninja in its base form, without even using a move. He just played around with Lucario like he was nothing. And you're expecting me that same Lucario got so powerful to now, in the short time period, that he's just gonna be able to contend with Leon's Charizard, who was able to one-shot Alain's Charizard, who was able to defeat a super effective Greninja in his ultimate form? No, I don't believe it. You can't tell me that that this makes sense, because it doesn't. I'm looking at Ash potentially beating Leon, and I just don't see it freaking happening. It doesn't make sense. Power scaling, like I said, doesn't exist. Like, it's so messed up right now. Because I'm trying to compare things and look at, okay, could Ash realistically win? No. But the Journeys, the main problem is the pacing. I think the main reason why Alain lost the way he did is because he had a 3v3 with Leon in half an episode. And that's where the main problem is. The writers should have had this whole 3v3 have a full episode. And honestly, at that point, I think we probably would have seen Leon's third Pokemon, probably Dragapult. You could have probably had Rillaboom win one, Dragapult win one, and then have Mega Charizard come out and defeat both Rillaboom and Dragapult, and then have, Alain lose to Charizard, because at that point he would have went through 2 champion Pokemon, you know what I mean? But no, you absolutely disrespect the man. Like, why did you even bring him back? To have a Charizard v Charizard fight and have it last a second? When you could have had Alain go fight something more meaningful, like Steven or Ash, or even Diantha? Like, no, bro. I don't believe it. To me, it was ridiculous. This was the most stupidest fight I think I've ever seen in the anime, considering that these are Master 8 trainers, and this is how they're gonna treat them. It's how they're gonna treat these ultimate battles, the finale of maybe not just this season, but the entire Ash's storyline. No. Stop, okay? Take your time. Flush these episodes out. Treat these trainers right, because they made it to the top 8. I hated Alain back in X and Y, but if you're going to tell me that he was so powerful then, and then you're going to tell me that he gets one-shotted here, and then Ash is going to somehow beat Leon, no, that's something that I don't, the consistency just isn't here anymore. Like, I don't understand. It boggles my mind. I just don't believe that Ash has a chance to win when you're going to do something like that. So what I'm saying is that you're handling your episodes so poorly that it doesn't make realistic sense. And not just Leon, but the fact that Alain was able to one-shot Rillaboom. Granted, that showed prowess, and Chestnut being able to tank all of G-Max Rillaboom, by the way, awesome. Those are some pluses of the episode. But still, they were all, when they actually did get hit, it was only 1 to 2 moves, and for any of the Pokemon in this episode. That has to be a record, bro. That has to be a record. But, but for some of the things I did like the introductions. I did like Iris and Ash running down the hallway together and being friends, and I liked seeing Marin and Synchromore and all that. I did like that. But now I hope that Alain sticks around. I hope to God that he sticks around. I mean, we did see Ash even in this episode. He looked like he was cheering on Alain, because he knows Alain. He knows his Mega Pokemon, right? He went nuts. Pikachu went nuts when Charizard went out on the field. Like, it looks like Ash was cheering on Alain to win the entire match. And so I'm like, okay, at least they appreciate and respect Alain, unlike the writers, right? But maybe they could at least have like Alain fight Ash in a future episode. Like maybe it's a filler, right? Maybe it's like between battles or whatever, that they just kind of have an episode where Ash trains against Alain's Charizard, Mega Charizard, in order to prepare for Leon's Charizard, right? They could do something like that, but I would like more interaction with Alain and Ash at this point. I did like the little glance that they gave each other in this episode, but I want to see more. Don't just have him come back for one episode and then he's gone. You know what I mean? Like, you're really gonna bring him back just to disrespect him? Anyway, that's all I gotta say about that. I think I ranted for quite a bit on that. But next episode, we do have Lance versus Diantha. You guys could post in the comment section below who you think is going to win that. I think Diantha is going to win, personally. Although, I would prefer Lance winning, because I feel like Lance is stronger. He has more of a resume than Diantha. But, I mean, I don't know. Diantha could have gotten really, really powerful. I just don't see Diantha standing a chance against Leon, to be honest. I mean, Leon's just going to sweep his side of the tournament, right? Ash... I mean, if Ash doesn't sweep his side, I'm being really sus about that battle against Leon. You know what I mean? If Ash doesn't sweep Steven, doesn't sweep Cynthia or Iris, if Iris might get the same treatment Alain did. I don't know. Maybe Iris will win. Can you imagine like the fire and how the Twitter and the whole community will burn to the ground over the fact if Iris wins? But I kind of do want to see Iris win. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of her necessarily, but I don't want them bringing her into this to shaft her again. At the end of the day, I'm just worried about how they handle certain characters, how they handle certain episodes, especially when things seem to, or should seem, a lot more important and have a lot more meaning, especially towards the end of the series. And the pacing is just bad. And that's causing them to just seem to be disrespecting certain characters. But, I mean, nonetheless, congratulations to Alain for making it to the Masters 8, to the top 8. You know, he even took down one of Leon's Pokemon. He's the first character in the series to take down a Pokemon of Leon. So, there's props to that. You know, there's props to the fact that even with a G-Max Rillaboom, Chestnut still survived through all that. And then, you know, his Charizard one-shotted the Rillaboom. So, I mean, props to Alain for those things, right? Gotta look at some positives, perhaps. I know Pokemon doesn't have too much time left with this series. Scarlet and Violet are coming out. But I really feel like this pacing is the main issue. And what's causing these battles to not be treated properly, in my opinion. Look at the Paul episode. Things are just... really quickly, Paul didn't even seem like a threat to me, for example. Like, Paul just seemed like he was there to push Ash, but Ash won 2 out of 3. It didn't really seem that much of a challenge, even that. So, like, I'm looking at all this, and I'm like, it's just a pacing problem. They're just trying to fly through as much content and stuff that they could pack in there because they're running out of time. So, hey, that might not be necessarily their fault. Maybe it's Game Freak not telling them, hey, we have games coming up at this point. Like, you're gonna have to finish up this series because we have the next games dropping. So it could be that as well. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section below. I love your faces. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one. We have Lance and Diantha coming up. Pray to God that it's amazing. It looks like it's going to be better, hopefully, than this episode. So let's look forward to that. Anyway, follow me on Twitter and YouTube if you have not yet. I love your faces. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one. And peace off. Thank you very much.